Assalamu alaikum and what is up everybody? Welcome in the GamingDesk. In this video, I'll talk about everything, almost everything you should know about Watch Dogs Legion before you buy. So let's get started. First thing first, introduction. Watch Dogs Legion is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Ubisoft Toronto and published by Ubisoft. As the third installment in the Watch Dogs series, it is the sequel to Watch Dogs 2. The game is set within a fictionalized representation of London, designed as an open world and is playable from a third-person perspective. It features the ability to control multiple characters that can be recruited across the game's setting and who can be permanently lost during the course of a playthrough. The game will also feature a cooperative multiplayer that will allow up to 4 players to work together. Players can also join a team of up to 4 players in cooperative gameplay, sharing progression between single player and multiplayer modes. Number 2. Story. The game's story focuses on the efforts of the London branch of hacker group DeathSec in combating an authoritarian regime that has taken control of the United Kingdom, thanks to the advanced surveillance systems known as CTOS. To assist in this, DeathSec recruits allies from across the city in order to liberate the city as a resistance force. Each character in the game will have their own background and skill set and provide a more dynamic influence on the game's narrative as the story progresses. Number 3. Setting. Watch Dogs Legion is an action-adventure game played from a third-person perspective. The game is set within an open-world fictionalized representation of London, which will encompass notable landmarks, boroughs, and cultural styles of the city. The game's setting takes place within a London that has become a surveillance state. Personal liberties have been vastly limited, and citizens are constantly monitored in their activities by Albion, a private security company that acts as the city's laws enforcement. Number 4. Dystopia. The director of Watch Dogs Legion has been interviewed by BBC. As described by the BBC, the game imagines a post-Brexit dystopian Britain as an oppressive surveillance state where the player assumes the role of a hacker intent on bringing down the system by recruiting others to their cause. Watch Dogs Legion seems to have a very interesting narrative setup based on everything we have seen so far. Set in the near future, London has become an Orwellian dystopia. It's a surveillance state, a city filled with cameras and skies filled with drones, and the Big Brother always keeping 1,000 eyes on all citizens at all times. The hackers organization DeathSec is always as the one stand against the authoritarian regime and is building up a resistance to fight back. Though it's scarily realistic and engrossing setup, Watch Dogs Legion doesn't look like it will be making the mistake of the first game by taking itself too seriously, and has a plenty of personality and humor in there that made the second game so good. Number 5. NPC or non-playable character. The term NPCs has lost all meaning to Ubisoft with Watch Dogs Legion because the game is dropping the N in NPC entirely. Unlike the previous games in the series which focused on the use of a single protagonist to drive the story's narrative, Legion features the ability to control multiple characters within the game's settings. True to the rumors, players can recruit every single NPC in the game to DeathSec cause as you gather and build up a resistance to fight back against London's authoritarian regimes. Every NPC you recruit, you can also play as. In fact, so you will be playing as the entire time. There is no one single protagonist in Watch Dogs Legion. Every single character in London is the protagonist. Number 6. Permadeath. Here's one of the most interesting aspects that has the potential to take the whole play as anyone stick even further. Every character you play as in Legion can die permanently, as showcased in the gameplay demonstration of E3. You might be in the middle of the mission and if the character you are playing as dies, that's it, he's dead. You either play as one of the other characters you have recruited or find someone else in London with the required skill sets. Number 7. Getting arrested. Getting captured or arrested. But of course, death isn't the only obstacle open world games in the vein of Watch Dogs throws at you. While you are wreaking havoc in London during the course of your sandbox gameplay, you can also get captured or arrested. So how does Legion handle that? Do you just lose a chunk of money and get right back into the action? No, you take control of other characters that you recruited, and if you want your character you lost back, you rescue them yourself. Number 8. Recruitment Missions. So how does one go about the process of recruiting any NPC they want? Well, you cannot very well just look at someone and press a button and possess their bodies. No, Watch Dogs Legion is contextualizing that in the form of recruitment missions. You need to recruit the NPC first before you play as them, and to do that you need to recruit them into DeathSec. You do that by solving any problems they might be having and convincing them to join your cause. Each of these characters can be recruited through a unique mission. Through this depend on their standing with DeathSec. For example, someone being bothered by a loan shark or being harassed by an overly police force, help them out, get them out of their pickle, and they'll join your cause, allowing you to switch to them and play as them whenever you want. Whereas a character whose family member was accidentally killed by a DeathSec member will not tolerate the group and likely refuse to join. Number 9. Gadgets. Gadgets are a pretty big part of any Watch Dogs game, and that doesn't change with Legion. Hacking will of course be an integral part of the game, as you would expect from the series. In fact, it falls into one of 3 overarching classes, so to speak, that all NPCs fall under, with the other 2 being combat and stealth. It is also going to be a plenty of new gadgets like spider bots and cloaking devices to make you temporarily invisible. Number 10. Combat and stealth. Now we get down to the basics. How does Watch Dogs Legion handle combat? There are stealth and melee combat and gunplay of course, but how does the game balance all of those? As per Ubisoft, there is strong emphasis on stealth, which is usually the best way forward in situations. If you don't want to go to the stealthy route, the game is still focused on non-lethal combat, with half of the weapons of the game being non-lethal as per Ubisoft. Number 11. Enforcer, Infiltrator, and Hacker. There are 3 classes for DeathSec agents: Enforcer, Infiltrator, and Hacker. Ubisoft art director Josh Cook and lead game designer Matthew Biro I don't know how I pronounced it right, but Matthew Biro played through about 30 minutes of Watch Dogs Legion at E3, as you can see in the video link given below in the description posted by Ubi Central. The video shows off the 3 classes for DeathSec recruits, which we have included details further. After recruiting a new citizen to join DeathSec, you can assign them one of 3 classes: Enforcer, Infiltrator, and Hacker. They can all perform the same basic combat and stealth. As for what separates each class, it mostly comes down to extra perks. Enforcer. Enforcers are the combat-focused class. They can equip explosive rounds on their weapons and plant sticky mines. Infiltrator. Infiltrators are the hand-on stealthy type. They excel at general sneakness, have more melee options, and come with an especially useful ability. They can activate an AR clock that essentially renders you invisible to guards for a short time. We see 4 perks available for the Infiltrator class in the gameplay demo. More will be available in the game, we are told. Lunge, which gives you an increased takedown radius, and Shockwave staggers enemies. Hacker. Hackers are also stealthy, but prefer to let drones to do the sneaking for them. They have access to the spider drones, highlighted heavily in the E3 footage, that combines the low profile of Watch Dogs' true drones with a mounted turret that lets it fight back. It can even perform melee takedowns. In some ways, the 3 classes divvy up the abilities that Aiden and Marcus from previous Watch Dogs games used to have all on their own. This will no doubt give every DeathSec member more of a unique identity and encourage players to try out different playstyles. Number 12. 5 main storylines. According to Ubisoft, Legion doesn't tell us one big story across its campaign. Instead, it features 5 distinct storylines that sound like they'll work sort of like episodes that you will uncover as you play. Each of those storylines tackles a variety of topics, from AI and automation and their effect on society to oppression from a private military controlling the city, and obviously playing a resistance with the team is caught up in that. It sounds like it might be tough to tell a convincing story using a cast of random NPCs, but our time with Legion suggested Ubisoft has a pretty good handle on that idea. When you hit a story cutscene, whatever character you happen to be playing becomes its protagonist, just like when you are playing the rest of the game. Characters have distinct animations, voice actors, and dialogue lines, so it doesn't feel like you are seeing a set of generic animations and lines with your character's particular appearance added in. No other details were given for what this means, but it's reminiscent of Watch Dogs 2 progression. Every mission was a single step towards completing a larger operation. Since there is no one protagonist in Legion, Ubisoft might be using this opportunity to tell us 5 shorter stories instead of one larger one. Number 13. Release date. Watch Dogs Legion was teased by Ubisoft via Twitter on June 5, 2019, before its announcement at E3 2019, where the game had its release date initially revealed as March 6, 2020. Legion was originally due for March 2020, but has since been delayed to an unspecified date before April 2021. It will be available for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Stadia. So guys, this was pretty much everything you should know about Watch Dogs Legion before you buy. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you are new here, please subscribe and tap the bell icon so that you won't miss any update from GamingDesk. I am signing off for now. See you in the next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Take care.